Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Who all are too new to my channel, please subscribe, like it, and share the content. So here is my YouTube channel name, and so we are going to talk about today's EC2 session. So let's go back to what we have done it for the day two session. We'll review it. So we have talked about AWS IAM setup, Terraform architecture explanation, and how to create the resource using the below the blogs and the explanation. I was talking about this, how we can able to resource it, where we need to mention the resource, or where we need to mention the which resource need to be configured and first black and second black, and what is this identifier expression, everything. And I showed you how to create the EC2 with the example of official documentation, and we talk about how we can able to create the Visual Studio Code and extension setup for the Terraform. So for day three, we are going to talk about how to create the Terraform files and which all are mandatory. Okay, so let's talk about those things. Okay, now we'll talk about few files. Okay, so we are going to talk about providers.tf. So how we can able to define the AWS providers, or it can define any providers, and we are going to create the main.tf. So we are what resource we wanted to create it, that is what we are going to mention it. Variables.tf. So how we can able to configure it in the variables as a variable. So what are the outputs we required. So these four things we are going to talk about. So in the meantime, what we can do, let's go to AWS console. Let's start the our Terraform server, which is the one we tested earlier. The same server, I'm going to just start it. Let me clear it. Yeah, okay, let me start it. So if there is any questions, any if you're not able to understand, so make sure that go to the official documentation of Terraform. From there, you'll get the uh, all the providers details. Let me show it you one more time. So this is the official page for the Terraform. So you can able to see that the documentation also, and configuration language, how we can able to use a Terraform language, adapt it while writing our Terraform code. Okay. So this is what I have explained it yesterday. So and left side you can able to see it, how we can able to import the existing resource. Okay, how to manage the state. These are all things very future topic I'm going to cover it. And modules, these are all things I'm going to cover it later part. And the syntax also, if you know, if you do not know how we can able to use the syntax, everything they have mentioned here. So if you do not know, you can refer the official documentation. So yesterday I showed you how we can able to write the simple a block to create the resource. If you are new to any languages, so refer the official documentation so that you'll get to know how we can able to write it down. So make sure that go with configuration syntax because this is going to be very easy to understand. Let's log into that server. Let's get the password. Let's copy it. Let's download the file. Let me log into the Terraform server, or you can call it as a your own server also, or you can imagine that this is your workstation. So now what I'm going to do, so let's create a folder in the desktop. So where you are going to work it, you can create a one single folder so that inside the folder only we are going to create all the files and folders. So let's open it. Let me open it in the Visual Studio Code. So as of now, it is a blank. Now, what we are going to do? We are going to create the providers.tf files. So let me type it provider.tf. So let me open the official documentation also from here. Just type it Terraform. Go to registry. Under that, browse the providers and AWS. So I'm going to just get the the versions. Okay, I'm going to take it Terraform 0 1.3. So let's copy. This is a providers. So make sure that this till year you should be having a default. Okay, if you're using any other providers like Azure GCP, you need to change it. Otherwise, from till year, this is a common for all the cloud providers. I mean, if it is AWS, that's fine. If it is GCP, again, it is going to be change your source version and everything. Okay. For this is for AWS, this is a common for the all the AWS accounts. Maybe you can use a test or production anything. And region is mandatory. Which region you are going to work on it. That is also you need to change it. So this is all about the providers. You no need to write anything. That is available in the official documentation. Just copy and paste it. Then I'm going to create a one more file called main.tf. Okay. So main.tf, what are the things it should be there? Okay. So for example, I wanted to create the EC2, right? So just type it EC2. So if you're able to see it here, Elastic Compute Cloud showing, then come down below, there is a AWS instance. So you are going to create a AWS instance, right? So multiple example also they are given it, but I'm going to down here. Let me take this as an example. So how to write this one? I told you already. The blocks, how we can able to use it. Okay. So you can just copy and paste it. This is a main.tf. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do? So I'm going to write a my own file. Okay. That means I'm going to just type it resource. Automatically it will come. Now I'll type it AWS underscore instance. Okay. So just select it. Later you can type it my EC2 instance. So this is for your reference. Okay. Next, I'm going to use the AMI. So here there is a two things will be there. Okay. So we can able to use the variables. Okay. What we can do, let's stop here. Let me create the variables first. Okay. So, okay. Then we have a output. So this four files is mandatory. Okay. So now we have written the main.tf, right? Okay. We can mention the AMI ID as per this. Okay. If I don't wanted to mention all the AMID instance type, nothing. So you can able to use the variables files. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the variables here. So how to create the variables? Just type it variable. Automatically it will come. Then this is for the your reference. You can type it AMI underscore ID. Okay. Then tab. You can use the tab command. So here you can able to use it default. Okay. From here, I'm going to mention the AMID. How we can able to get the AMID? Let's go back to AWS instance. So from there, here also you can able to get the AMID. Or I don't want to see the AWS console each and everything. Then you can able to use the data source. So the data source it is going to be give the automatically it will fetch it from the AWS console. Let's copy it and here sorry and here I'm going to paste it AMI ID. Okay. Same thing for also. I'm going to use it variables for instance underscore type. Okay. Again default can use it and you can just type it t3 dot micro. So this is how we can able to create the multiple variables. Okay. Now I will go back to here. Okay. Here what I'm going to do in the AMI section, I'll just type it AMI underscore ID. So we need to remove this open bracket. Okay, both the side. Then we can type it instance type. Again here where that. So automatically it is coming here. Okay, no need to do it multiple times. Okay, I'm going to use tags. I'll just open the bracket, open bracket, and I'll type it name equal to Terraform EC2. So this is how we can able to create our own resource. Okay. So why here it is showing red mark? Let me see it. Okay. Okay. So we are using, okay, not this one. So let's, okay. So if there is no red mark here, that means your your Terraform files is correct. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, let's create it. Okay. And there is one more file. So we have written AMI for main dot, and we wanted to now output file. So to get the output file, output you can able to use it and instance ID. Okay, instance underscore ID. Okay, then you can use the tab button, and here you can give it value. Under the value, AWS instance. Okay, I need to use it dot ID. So how do we know that this is we need? Okay, you need to go back to main file and you need to get this value, whatever you have mentioned it. For example, if you have mentioned the VPC, you need to get the VPC and whatever VPC name you have given, that name it is. Okay. So now let me go back to new terminal. So now first command is Terraform init. So this is going to be set up the providers plugins. So this will take some time to download and it will install it. And the latest version, whatever we have mentioned in the provider details, the same version it is going to be installing. See, 6.28 as of now. Okay, that is also you can able to verify it in the official documentation 6.28. And for example, if you wanted to create any VPC, just enter it. Any of the resource, if you wanted to create it, you need to just search it out. Okay, virtual private cloud. Okay, under that, if you wanted to create your own VPC, come down here, route table, AWS VPC. So example, they have already given it. Okay. Make sure you should know what is this resource. Okay. Why they have mentioned it. That should know it. Okay. I've already explained it. Why they have mentioned it resource. Why this is AWS underscore. What is this example exactly? Okay. See here multiple. they are given the option. But as per your organization, what are the things it is required, you need to mention it. Maybe for in your organization, maybe you can able to just use this same thing. Only thing is the main you can remit according to your company requirement. Any name you can give it. Now Terraform validate. So it will just validate that the files whatever we have written it, that is good, or there is any configuration issues we get to know. So here it is showing AMI ID. Okay, let me go back to here. See here we need to use it where that. Okay, so this is a good example. If you have written somewhere mistakes, automatically it will come. Okay, and Terraform next command is plan. So must and should you know the main commands: Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform validate, and apply destroy. Okay, so here it will show us that the plan, it will show us that like a dry run. Okay, so what is it is going to be created? See, this will be created. Okay, now we can able to use it Terraform apply command. Sorry, let's. So Terraform apply, what it will do, it will create, it will ask for the yes or no, then it will create the resource. Then we can able to verify it in the, we can go back to AWS console. Then we can able to see that the EC2 machine is created or not. See, it is already creating Terraform EC2. So what are the things we learned it till now? We have created the EC2 instance manually, how we can able to do it, and how we can able to define the EC2 resource using the variables. And we have run the command like a Terraform init, plan, apply. And now once it is done, we can able to use Terraform destroy command. Okay. So here, see if we are able to see it, we have defined in the output file. Okay, my EC2 instance ID, the same, the output file also we have received. And we can just compare it in the AWS console. Is it same? See, same 32. So here also 32. So next, last command is Terraform destroy. So after testing, always destroy the resource to avoid the extra billings. Okay. So Terraform will ask you for the confirmation to delete it. Okay. So we need to make it yes or no. Okay. Let's make it yes. So let me go back to the folder, which is the one we have created Terraform. See, if you're able to see it, all the files it is available. So make sure that should not delete this one. And these are all the dependencies. Do not touch. By default, each is created by Terraform. And this folder also everything. Okay. So these are all the providers details and version details. The setup, everything it is available. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, let's, okay, now what we can do, let's create the, we have created a EC2, right? So what are the other resource we can able to do it, right? So we can create one more testing for the, how we can able to create the S3 bucket. So let's go to that S3 bucket. Let's test it out. Any existing bucket available or not. So S3 bucket used for the, to store the content for company documentations, Excel file, all those things. Okay. So as of now, there is a four buckets are there. Okay. Now I wanted to create it using the S3 bucket. So why we are using Terraform? To save the time and reusable. Okay. So no need to go to manually to the AWS console and creating it. Okay. Now let me, what we can do, let's delete entire thing. I'm going to just delete it. I need only. Okay. So in the variables, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the resource. Okay. Now what we can type it here, a resource. Okay. AWS underscore S3 bucket. So automatically it will come. Just select it here and you can mention it my bucket. Any name you can give it. Okay. Next you can use a tab button. It will come down below. So what is the bucket name? So I'm going to use it randomly. Okay. So this should be unique. Okay. You cannot give it any, uh, I mean, repeated bucket names. Okay. Let me open the bracket. Okay. I'm going to just add it one more line, something. Okay. And you can able to use it to simple bucket creation. This is fine to create it. Okay. Now again, I will be come back to here in the command line interface. Let me initiate it. Okay. So whatever I have created, deleted, right? Like a providers details. Okay. State file, everything it will come because we have deleted everything. To show it you, I have created. So make sure that for the testing purpose, you can able to use it. And Terraform validate. So if there is any configuration issues, this will shows the error. Okay, everything is good. Then I'm going to plan. So no need to go to plan always. If you're perfect, that's fine. If you're not perfect, go for the all the commands, execute it and test it. Now I'll go for apply command. Okay, make sure that give it yes. And let's go to AWS console. Just refresh it. Earlier it was 4, right? See, now we have received 5 and this is a bucket name. Okay. So if you wanted to do it manually for hundreds of bucket, for example, I'm telling, so it will take too much time, right? So that is why we are going to use Terraform. To save the time, just type it destroy. Sorry, destroy. Okay. So let's go to AWS console. Just refresh it. Okay. So it has been deleted. Okay. So that is all about today's topic. I'll come up with a new topic for VPC creations, other resource creations also. So till that, you can watch this video and please subscribe it and you can share it with your friends. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.